Hi everyone! So before I begin, Ali's decided to get the loudest toy that she has and play with it. So if you hear squeaking sounds, that's what it is. Exhibit A. So I will try to talk over it. Also, I apologise for the lighting. It's pissing down rain here. It's ridiculous. So I'm making the best with what I've got. But I was thinking today that I haven't obviously made a video in a while, and as you guys know, as my subscribers, my channel is very obviously like 100% paranormal stories based, which I love, but I think one of the main reasons why I haven't filmed a video in so long is because I honestly haven't really had anything happen, and I miss making videos, and I want to upload stuff for you guys to watch because I love making videos, but because I haven't had anything happen to me, I sort of just have felt like there's no point making a video. So I'm thinking of branching out. I've been watching a lot of story time videos, and I have a lot of stories, so let me know if you guys are interested in me sort of keeping this up, because yeah, I've got a lot of stories that I could tell you guys, and I mean obviously if I have anything paranormal happen to me, I will make a video on it, but like I said, I want to keep videos happening for you. So I decided to make today's video about my horrible, awkward Tinder date experience. This is before Frankie and I met my current boyfriend. We actually met on Tinder. We've been together for 8 months. I think it's tomorrow? Yeah, 8 months tomorrow. So we're going fine, but this this experience happened before him and I met. So I'll just get straight into it. So I'm going to use the guy's real name because I don't talk to him anymore obviously, and I don't think he knows that I made videos, but yeah, so I went on Tinder not long after my ex Nathan and I broke up, just as a time waster. My friends were like, Courtney, you need to get yourself out there, kill time, realise that not all guys are dickheads basically. So I went on Tinder and just talked to a couple of people, nothing interesting, and then I matched with this guy called Cameron. And we live about 20 minutes away from each other. He knows where I live, I know where he lives, suburb, not house obviously. Yeah, so we texted for probably maybe a month, couple of weeks, and over text it was really good. We had the same interests, he was really nice, we liked talking to each other, it was awesome. And then it got to the point where we'd been talking for probably about a month, maybe a bit over a month, and I was like, okay, as much as texting is great, we really need to meet up in person and have a coffee or whatever, because just because you like someone over text message, you still don't know what they're like in person, you might not have that spark or whatever. So yeah, so we decided to we organised to have coffee. I was at my old job, I think I was finishing work at about 4. Yes, it was 4. And in my Westfield that I used to work at, there's a cafe outside, and that closes when the centre closes at 6, or so I thought. I'm very glad that it closed earlier, but you'll find out why. So yeah, so I finished work at 4, and he was going to meet me because he knew where I worked in the Westfield. So the plan was he was going to come meet me at work. But then I had to stay back for like 15 minutes because there was a reason why, and then he ended up running into someone that he knew. So it was really awkward because he knew the shop that I worked at, but he didn't come and meet me at my work. He sort of waited 6 shops down and then was like, oh hey, I'm here, and I was like, okay. And I don't think we had each other added on Facebook yet. No, we didn't. So yeah, I found his Facebook because I think we have mutual friends in common. So I knew what his Facebook looked like, but it was super private, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be the first one to add you because that's weird. And so yeah, so he met me a couple of shops down, and I saw him walk past, and he didn't even look into my. It was really bizarre. Anyway, so I finished work, walked up to him, and I was like, oh hey, and it was. I mean, okay. I feel like normal people, if you've been talking for a month and a half, and you meet them in person, you're gonna, give them a hug or a kiss on the cheek or something. And I'm not, I can be shy, but I'm still gonna, give you a hug, hello, I'm just a friendly person. Anyway, so I walk up to him, and he was like, hi. And I was just like, okay, we're not gonna give each other a hug. So I was like, oh hey. And, okay, I am not a superficial person whatsoever. I mean, obviously you need to have some sort of physical attraction, but I'm not going to go and go on the hunt for a male model, because that's not what I'm into, that's not what I'm after. and I understand everybody has flaws, but he smiled at me, and I was just like, oh my god, what? That I can't. And I don't want to sound like a bitch saying this, but his teeth were, oh my goodness. And I don't even have a problem with teeth. My teeth aren't perfect. I'm not expecting, I'm not expecting perfection here. But I realised all the photos that he had on his Tinder profile were very strategically taken, because he smiled at me and he literally had teeth crossing sideways, gaps in his teeth missing. I think he had 2 bottom teeth missing. And I mean, each to their own, but it just completely took me off guard, and I was just like, whoa, okay. So yeah, so we didn't hug, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And it was just awkward from the get-go. And as soon as I walked up to him and he didn't hug me, and we were just like, oh, hey, I was like, alert, alert, you need to leave, this is going to be so awkward. So I was like, well, I've committed now, and I was like, okay, it's fine. The shop's closed at 6. I've only got to, realistically, I only have to be with him for 2 hours. So we walked up to the cafe, and I think I ordered coffee or something, and he ordered a hot chocolate, and he paid, so I was like, oh, that's nice. So we went and sat down, and as soon as he opened his mouth, I was just like, oh my god, what the hell am I doing here? He only spoke about himself. He plays this weird, like, unicycle hockey or something, and so all he was talking about was himself and how great he is and how great his work is. He's like a checkout guy at Coles or something. Like, I mean, a job's a job. I can't talk. I don't have a job right now. But he was just going on and on and on about how great he is, and he was really, 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 I can't think what the word is. He talked really shitty about women and was really like, his jokes were really racist and really not funny, and I was just like, oh my god, like, who is this? I have not been talking to you like for the past month. It was great, it was lovely, and then as soon as I met him in person, I was just like, oh my god, you're really racist, you're really homophobic, you're a misogynist. I was just like, it was just the most awkward thing ever. And so for anyone that doesn't know, I smoke, and so I was sitting there just like puffing cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. It was the most awkward thing ever. The whole time I was just like, yeah. And he just kept telling me all these really ridiculous homophobic and racist jokes, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? So it got to about 4:45, and so this cafe is outdoors, and the boys that work there started. Realistically, it would have only just been because no one was there and no one was sitting on the chairs, so they were just obviously packing up, so they didn't have heaps to do at the end of the day. Took it as my way out. I was like, yes, it looks like they're closing. So I was like, oh damn, like, they're closing, I guess we should go soon. And he was just like, oh, that's a shame. He was completely oblivious that I was sitting there the whole time, like, oh my god, what have I got myself into? So we're talking, and I was like, oh, we should probably go soon. And so the train station from the cafe, because it's outside of the Westfield, is like a 30-second walk, not even. It's like down the road. And so he drove, and he was like, oh, do you want me to give you a lift home? And I was like, no, I'm fine, thanks. I was like, I've actually got to go to I just made up some bullshit story. I was like, I've got to go to the supermarket, because there's a supermarket like in the train station sort of thing. I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. And he was like, oh. And then he goes, oh, well, I can give you a lift to the station. And I was like, no, like, it's so hard to explain, but there's literally no point giving me a lift to the station. I was like, it would take me longer to walk to your car than it would to the station. So he was like, oh, okay, that's fine, I had a really great time. And I was like, yeah, same. No. So we get up, and he was like, all right, well, we'll definitely have to do this again. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he was just like, okay, bye. And then waved at me, and then just spun around and walked away. And I was just like, oh my god, that was the most awkward thing ever. So I get on the train, and he texts me, and he's like, oh, I had a really great time, blah blah blah. And I think we had added each other on Facebook I think we'd added each other on Facebook while we were at coffee, because we realised that we didn't have each other on Facebook. So yeah, he messages me, and he's like, oh, I had a really great time, blah blah blah. And now I think over coffee we spoke about his brothers and his mum and his dad, and I told him about my family, my sisters and whatever. So we had covered all of that multiple times, and also at coffee. So I get home, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a stalk on his Facebook, and I see a lot of photos of this little girl on his Facebook, and I was like, oh, she's cute, who's that? He had a friggin' daughter, and didn't even think to tell me. Now, I love children, you know, I understand that if you have a child, it's obviously going to be difficult to date. She lives with him. Like, after stalking his Facebook, I have now figured out, like, I had figured out after I'd looked at his Facebook, that she lives with him, like, full time. And he didn't even think to tell me that he had a daughter. And I was just like, oh my god, like, how? And he was like, I could see that, like, he, just from what he was saying, he was wanting it to, like, progress eventually into a relationship. And I was just like, oh my god, you didn't even tell me that you have a daughter. This is so not on. So he then, you know, kept trying to talk to me, and he was just being really racist and homophobic, and I was like, wow, no. So I just cut him out of my life completely, and I haven't heard from him since. So that was the only person apart from Frankie that I met up with on Tinder, and it was not a very great experience. So I just guess it goes to show that you should probably meet up with someone in person a lot sooner than a month and a half, because turns out they're not necessarily what they're like in person. So yeah, that's my story. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you want to hear kind of more different stories from me, or if you've got anything that you think I might have experienced, because I'm just one of those people that experiences a lot of weird shit, or I know someone that has. So yeah, I'm gonna go because it's about to, like, really badly storm, and I think the lighting's turning really shit. So I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching. Bye.